Can AI really do your business tasks for you the way everyone claims? I put it to the test for 7 days. Some AI tools saved me time, some created more work for me to do, and by the end, there was one job I decided I'm never letting AI near again. Here's the idea I started with. Most people go looking for the one AI tool that does everything, and that's the wrong way around. What actually works is a small group of tools that each do one job well and pass the work to the next, like a production line. So I gave each tool a role. ChatGPT would handle my everyday writing and quick ideas. Claude would take on anything long or detailed. Zapier would run the automations in the background. And Notion would keep it all organized, while Gamma, Canva, and ElevenLabs would help me create content. The goal was to clear out the busy work, so I had time for the parts of the business that needed me most. Let's start where nearly every task begins, which is writing. I gave ChatGPT a normal Monday's worth of admin, a few client emails. It handed all 3 back in seconds, good enough that I only tidied a line or 2. The invoice chasing one came out a bit too blunt, so I softened it, but the rest I could have sent as they were. For everyday writing, ChatGPT became the tool I reached for without thinking. The moment a job got longer, I handed it to Claude instead. Whenever I had large documents or reports, I used Claude to process the information. Claude read the whole document carefully and gave me a summary I could trust, the kind of job that used to eat half my morning. Next, I wanted to stop doing the same little tasks by hand over and over, which is where automation comes in. I used Zapier to link a couple of my apps so that whenever someone fills in the contact form on my website, their details drop straight into a spreadsheet and I get an email about it, without me lifting a finger. Before that, I was checking the form by hand and copying the details across myself, the kind of dull job that eats your afternoon without you noticing. Honestly, setting Zapier up took some fiddling, and Zapier's free plan is tight, only 100 tasks a month and 2 steps per automation. If you're a busy business, you'd burn through it fast. There's another tool, Make, that gives you far more for free, though it takes longer to learn. Either way, no single automation changed my life. Each one saved only a few minutes, but by Friday they had added up to a real chunk of time I'd have spent copying and pasting. So far, AI seemed to be helping. But one of my biggest headaches with business is the endless admin. I've heard a lot of people talk about how Notion helps them stay organized, so I tried it out for myself. After every client call, I'd drop my messy notes onto a Notion page and let its AI sort them out. A few seconds later, I had a clean summary and a proper to-do list. It didn't so much reduce the work as move it around, but nothing slipped through the cracks. On one call, I'd promised a client some pricing information and forgotten by the time I hung up, but the action list caught it, so I sent it that afternoon instead of a week late. Worth knowing, the full Notion AI now sits inside their business plan at $20 per person a month, and the cheaper plans only give you a short trial. If I were to use Notion's AI a lot in the long term, I'd have to get the business plan. The final type of task I wanted to test was creating content, and this is where AI really surprised me. I started with Gamma for presentation slides, which I have to make quite often. I gave it a single line, and a minute later it had built a full deck that looked like a designer made it. A couple of slides needed reworking, but as a starting point, it saved me the afternoon I'd usually lose building slides from scratch. Quick note, Gamma's free version leaves a small watermark and a one-off pot of credits, while the Plus plan that removes it is only $8 a month. Next, I tried Canva for social media graphics. I used the AI Magic Design feature they have. Canva turned my one-line request into a handful of social posts I could tweak and publish. The AI is part of Canva Pro, at just under $13 a month. The last tool I experimented with was ElevenLabs, which I could use for video content. I pasted a short script into ElevenLabs and let it read it aloud.
Welcome to the future of speech synthesis.
The voice was close enough to a real person that most listeners wouldn't realize it. But there's a catch that matters for a business. The free version won't let you use the audio commercially at all. You have to credit ElevenLabs and can't earn a penny from it. So if you're planning to use this for bigger projects, you'll need a paid plan, starting at $5 a month. That's cheap for the time it saves. So after a full week, what held up and what fell apart? The wins were great. My writing got faster, my notes turned into plans, and a pile of small admin jobs simply disappeared. But it was far from perfect. More than once, the AI missed what I meant and gave me something so generic I had to rewrite it. One time I asked ChatGPT to draft a proposal, and it invented a service I don't even offer and stated it as fact. If I hadn't caught it, it would have gone straight to a client. The automations needed the odd bit of maintenance when an app changed, and plenty of jobs still came down to my own judgment, however carefully I worded the prompt. So is it actually worth building a workflow like this? Yes, but not in the way the hype sells it. AI never came close to running my business. What it did was take out the repetitive work that was slowing me down, and that alone made it worth the effort. 3 tools earned a permanent spot in my week: ChatGPT, Claude, and Zapier, while the rest were useful now and then, but easy to live without. If I were starting from scratch, I'd pick a few tools that each solve a different problem, and I wouldn't pay for 3 subscriptions that all do the same job. And that one job I said I'd never hand over? It was replying to an upset customer. Every time I let AI write one of those, the reply came back smooth but hollow, and people can feel the difference. When someone is already annoyed, they can tell a machine wrote the apology, and that's the exact moment you can't afford to get it wrong. Some parts of a business still need a real person, and the real skill is knowing which parts those are. So don't try to hand your whole business to AI. Hand it the work that doesn't need you. Keep the work that does, and you'll get a good chunk of your time back without losing what makes your business yours. Which of these jobs would you hand over first? And which would you never let AI touch? Let me know in the comments, and if this was useful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.